What if Britain's future was bought in a single handshake? This week, Keir Starmer rolled out the red carpet for Donald Trump in a spectacle of royal pageantry, and in return, the government boasted of a record-shattering £150 billion in investment. But behind the dazzling numbers and golden carriages, critics are asking a darker question. Has Starmer revived Britain's economy? Or just sold its soul to Trump's America? At the heart of the visit was the headline number, £150 billion. According to Starmer's team, this staggering investment package promises jobs, infrastructure, and new trade opportunities. It's being sold as the biggest single financial commitment to Britain from the United States in modern history. On paper, it looks like a triumph, the kind of economic lifeline a struggling nation can hardly refuse. But scratch beneath the surface, and doubts begin to grow. How much of that money is real, and how much is just headline spin? And perhaps most importantly, what did Britain have to promise in return? The spectacle of the visit was deliberately designed to dazzle. Trump rode in a golden carriage, waved at crowds from the mall, and was welcomed at Buckingham Palace with the full force of royal tradition. Cameras captured pomp and grandeur, as though this was a moment straight out of Britain's imperial past. But beyond the glitter of pageantry, politics told a harsher story. Britain remains weighed down by weak growth, crumbling public services, and simmering discontent. For many watching, the royal theater was a distraction, a way to cloak a risky economic bet in the comfort of ceremonial nostalgia. For Keir Starmer, this deal is more than economics. It's political survival. Just months into his premiership, he needs proof that Labour can deliver prosperity where the Conservatives failed. The £150 billion figure allows him to present himself as the leader who brought Britain back to the world stage. But it's a gamble with high stakes. If the investment stalls or unravels, Starmer's credibility could collapse alongside it. In many ways, he has staked his entire political project on Trump's promise, a promise history shows is not always kept. Predictably, the opposition pounced. Conservatives accused Starmer of naivety, warning that Trump is a transactional operator who gives nothing without expecting something back. Nigel Farage and Reform UK went further, branding the deal a sellout of British sovereignty. In their telling, Starmer hasn't negotiated from a position of strength, but bowed to an American strongman whose interests rarely align with Britain's. The attacks land because they tap into a deeper unease, that Britain, once a global power, is now forced to play junior partner, begging for cash, whatever the political cost. For Donald Trump, the visit was a stage perfectly crafted to his liking. Not just business deals, but adoration, ceremony, and headlines of historic investment. His presence overshadowed Britain's politics, with Starmer cast less as host and more as supporting actor in the Trump show. Even after leaving office in Washington, Trump has demonstrated his unmatched ability to dominate the political narrative of another country. That influence, outsized and unpredictable, now hangs over Britain's future. If Trump retakes the White House, Starmer may find himself tied ever closer to an ally whose moods shift like the wind. Beneath all the pomp and promises lies a sobering truth. Britain has bet heavily on one man and one relationship. The £150 billion sounds like salvation, but much of it depends on private firms, future governments, and political conditions far beyond Starmer's control. Already, economists are warning that the figure is inflated and that real money on the ground may fall far short. If those warnings prove true, Britain could be left exposed, its credibility shaken, and its prime minister branded as the man who gambled the nation's future on Trump's word. And so, Britain is left with a question that refuses to go away. Has Keir Starmer secured a once-in-a-generation boost to the economy, or has he tied the nation's future to promises that may never arrive? To his allies, the £150 billion headline proves Britain is back on the global stage. To his critics, it's a dangerous illusion, a glossy deal that hides the cost of bending to Trump's influence. In the end, history will judge whether this state visit marked the start of renewal or the moment Britain's sovereignty slipped further from its grasp. Let us know what you think in the comments.